Good morning and welcome to the weekend, nice and early. I am glad to be here with you this morning. And so we're nearing the end of the month, so just thought we'd start to kind of put some of the ideas that we've been talking about together, the different bits of breathing and anatomy related movement that we've been doing and all that mindfulness practice that we've been working on too. So starting to take these concepts and link them together into bigger, more cohesive ideas. Um, so we're going to start in seated and just begin to close your eyes for a moment so that you can really start to focus your mind on your body and your breath, letting your thoughts just settle in. So hopefully, if you have been joining in for some of the practices over the last 20 days, you're starting to find it a little bit easier to let your thoughts just settle and let your mind settle. To focus on how you're feeling, even if it's just for a couple of moments. Hopefully you're finding that a bit easier and a bit more accessible to you. So kind of just tuning in and becoming aware. We'll just take a few moments to check in with your energy levels, how you're feeling today. And then just beginning to open the eyes, and we'll start to roll the shoulders up and back. Just getting some movement through there, noticing how it feels to move your shoulders today, rolling them around, sliding and gliding those shoulder blades, and then reverse the direction, go back around the other way. Just taking some full deep breaths. We talked about this full three-dimensional breath. So see if you can begin to move and breathe at the same time. Maybe just really coordinating those breaths. And then just planting the right hand down onto the floor so that you can have a little stretch up and over to the other side. Nice big deep breath in. Exhale, come on up and over to the other side. Just gently starting to open up the sides of the body. Nice and early, so we're just encouraging, engaging some of those muscles at the side of the body, stretching them out. Maybe you were sat at a desk yesterday, so it might be quite nice just to feel everything start to open up a little bit. So we'll just do that a few more times each side. Nice, and then coming back to the center, take your knees out in front of you to just put your feet onto the floor for a moment. And then just start to let your knees just drop side to side for, don't have to go all the way down to the ground, but we're just kind of starting to open up the hips and get them moving this morning. We're going to do some work in standing today. So we're just starting down closer to the ground, since you might have just woken up and you might need a little bit of time to get up there this morning. So just kind of feeling around there, noticing how those hips are today. You might want to come onto your hands and your knees and kind of start to move the hips around a little bit here. Notice where you need to spend a little bit more time, maybe leaning back into your hips, leaning forward, over to the side, just exploring all those different areas that we've been working through. We've done this kind of movement before, so just notice what it's like for you to do it today. And taking a couple of really deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to grab hold of your TheraBand and come on up to standing. So whatever you're using, you want to make sure that you have that nearby. So again, you can use a stretchy band, or you can use like the belt of a robe or something like that. Just have that nearby. We're going to take one foot in front of the other. So we'll have the right foot forward and the left foot back. And just begin to bend through your front right leg. So your knee wants to really be going over your first and second toes. And again, so we did this exercise a few days ago of tucking your tail under and then doing the opposite. So untucking, tucking under, and just really feeling how that can start to open up through your left hip. So notice, what do you need to maybe shift or change to allow that feeling to really kind of noticeably start to open up through the pelvis here? Just noticing what that's like, to practice something that we learned a few days ago. And then come back to a more sort of neutral standing position with the pelvis. And start to peel your back heel away from the floor and straighten the front leg. Just going to do that a few times. So you're bending the front knee, straightening the back leg, and then to come up onto the heel, you straighten the front leg out. So just shift between those two for a few repetitions. Noticing how that feels. So noticing the tendency of where your back heel wants to go. You could even kind of take a look back and notice if you're kind of wanting to take the heel out or in. See if you can go straight back with that heel. Notice what your tendency of your front foot is. So sometimes it wants to shift around. See if you can really stand into your big toe, your small toe, and your heel of your front leg. So just going to do that one last time. And then plant that heel down and begin to walk that foot forward. And then step it back. I'm just going to do that, noticing, what's happening through the standing leg again. Because sometimes it feels like we don't have that much stability, or sometimes we try to push our hip out to the side so that we get pain through there. So see if you can kind of center yourself a little bit more over that standing leg. We'll do a little bit coming back to that, but just do that a couple more times. And then see if you can start to swing that leg through. So you're getting just a little bit more momentum of the leg, so you're not stepping down. You're just letting it swing on through. And if that's all going okay, you could let your arms get involved. Just let them start to swing by your sides. And just noticing, where's your back foot still stepping down? Is it stepping in a different place each time, or is it in quite a similar place? Just do that once more. And then come to let that just rest by the other one. Noticing how, each foot, each leg feels compared to the other. Noticing your breath and your energy levels, again, just after doing that little bit of movement. It might feel quite different on both sides. And then we'll go to the other side. So you're going to step your left foot forward, right foot back. Really look down, make sure they're both parallel to each other. Start to bend through your left knee to really straighten out that back leg. And then start to tuck your tail under and release it. So you're sending your tail towards your knees and then releasing. Really feeling how that influences this right hip to just drop open and just letting it relax. Just do that a couple more times. Noticing what that's like compared to the other side. And then come to a more neutral position of the pelvis. Make sure both hips are facing forward. And start to peel your back heel away to straighten your front leg. And then you bend through that front knee. Send the heel down and switch. So just doing that a couple of times. If you're going to go for a walk today, this is a really good preparation for that. You know, before you're doing any walking, running, really good way to just let your body know a really efficient pattern of coming into your walking. You know, sometimes we do funky things with our feet and our legs because we've developed these habits and these patterns. So again, it's about bringing these smaller ideas. The work that we do on the mat, sitting down and lying down, is all going to have an influence on what we're doing when we're standing up. So this is a really functional way to start improving the way that you're walking around and what you're doing out there in the real world. So start to walk that foot forward, just stepping it next to the other one. Notice where your back leg and back foot are stepping down. Can you kind of step into the same footprint each time? Are you still breathing? So check in with your breath. You know, we can't function very well if we're just constantly keeping a shallow breath in our chest area. And then start to swing that leg through. So if you want to get your arms involved, that's quite a nice thing. Just letting everything kind of warm up. You might feel that you're doing quite a lot of work through your standing leg, maybe not so much work through that leg that's moving. So keep that going for a couple more. Nice big deep breaths. And then come back to the center. Have a little walk around, maybe shaking out the legs, shaking out the arms. And then go ahead and find your TheraBand. So you're going to take it around the center of you and start to cross the bands over. Take one in each opposite hand. Reach your arms forward. Take a big deep breath in and just send those ribs right back into the band. Again, just look down at your feet, make sure they're parallel and about hip distance apart. And then as you exhale, you're going to widen your elbows and really think about breathing some space between the armpits, just letting them get wide. As you breathe in, letting those back ribs drop back as you reach your arms forward, and then exhaling, widening through the elbows, widening through the ribs. Nice big deep breath in, exhaling. And then just let the arms rest down for a second. I'm going to just start to tip the feet from side to side. So we're tipping to the outside edge of the foot and then to the inside edge of the foot. I'm just noticing what that feels like. Notice that my hips aren't going with me. It's just the feet and the ankles that are moving. So again, notice if you get a little bit more range through one foot compared to the other side. And then see if you can keep that going. So this is a little bit of like the exercise of patting your stomach and rubbing your head at the same time. So it might take a little bit of coordination. See how you get on. You're going to start to take your arms out in front of you, deep breath in, and then as you're exhaling, widen those elbows. See if you can get both going at the same time. Inhaling out with the arms and exhaling to widen the elbows. And really, you know, just focusing that your ribs aren't trying to jut forward as you're breathing, moving your arms. Can you keep your feet turning onto the inside and outside edges? We'll do that twice more. Breathing in and exhaling. Last time. And then rest the arms down for a second. You might just want to hold on to your band. Just going to take yourself into a little bit of rotation. So as you turn onto the outside edge of your right foot, inside edge of your left foot, just turn around to the right and then come back up to center and over to the other side. So we're just kind of telling the body, we're switching on the whole of the foot, telling the ankles that they have lots of range to move around to find this really balanced center. A couple more to each side. Feeling how this spiraling movement starts in the feet and works its way all the way up through to the crown of the head. Feel that through the whole body. And again, if you don't feel these things happening, that's okay. Maybe notice where there might be some resistance in your body, which might be kind of blocking the whole movement from coming up all the way through. And then come back to center, come back to having your band around you. I'm just going to do a little balance work here. So check in with your feet. Mine have moved, so I'm going to bring them back. We're actually going to bring them a little bit closer together. So you're going to imagine that you've got one leg growing out beneath you rather than the two. So it would be quite easy just to take your right heel up, peel that right heel away as you're reaching your arms forward, and then take a deep breath in. As you're exhaling, since you have that one leg really rooting down into the floor, it's as if your feet had roots down. As you exhale, you could just lift your right leg up. No problem. It could rise up, and then as you breathe in, you could just gently float it back down. I'm going to do two more on this side. Exhaling to lift the knee. You could imagine you've got your helium balloon just floating that leg up, making it feel nice and easy on that side. And then let your right foot root down into the ground right underneath you so that you could do the same on the left side. Deep breath in, exhaling to lift through that knee, and then slowly lower back down. Two more times, letting the helium balloon lift that knee and that leg up, and slowly lower down. And last time. Beautiful. We're going to get rid of the band. Just chuck it to one side. Bring your feet back to where they were, just close together, not quite touching. You probably have about a golf ball size gap between your heels. And then we're going to start to peel the right heel away from the floor again. And I just want you to place your hand, one at the top of the head, at the side of the head, onto your right hand onto your right ear, and then one hand back onto the sacrum. So you're just giving yourself a little point of reference of where you are in space, so that when you start to pick your right knee up, you just feel like you're really balanced, and then lower it back down. So, after we've done this for a few times now, it should start to feel quite easy. We're going to keep the right knee lifted this next time, and you're going to take your left hand outside of that right knee and see if you could start to rotate in towards that leg. Keeping nice and balanced on that foot. Turn back in, lower it down, lower the hands down. Just give your shoulders a shake. We'll do the same thing to the left. So really ground and root down through your right foot. Place your hand, one onto the left ear, the other onto your sacrum. So your left hand on your left ear and your sacrum covered by the right hand. And then start to peel your left foot away, lift the leg up, and lower it back down. See what you're feeling like now with this on this side. Keep the leg lifted this time. You're going to take your right hand, place it onto the outside of the left knee, and start to rotate in towards that left knee. Notice what it's like to do this on this side compared to the other one. And then come back in, lower that down. Give those shoulders and those legs a nice little shake. Excellent. All right, let's come back down to seated again. So making yourself comfortable here, taking your cushions if you have them and use them to make yourself comfortable. Seated on the floor. Unless you want to sit in a chair, that's absolutely fine. You know, sometimes it's more comfortable and there's nothing wrong with that. Because again, you just want to, in this position, make sure that you're really able to find some ease and some relaxation through the body. So find a place where you're feeling really comfortable. Maybe you want to get some flesh out from underneath you so that you can really ground down through your sitting bones onto the floor, onto the surface of whatever you're sitting on. And then just allow the eyes to shut down once again, just so you can start to take your awareness back into your body. So we closed our eyes for a moment at the beginning of this movement session. Just notice if anything feels different, you know, if anything is feeling more awake and energized after doing some of that breathing and movement, combination of both. Just checking in with yourself again. And we'll do our full body scan here, starting at the crown of the head. Just noticing any sensations there, any pains or any niggles or any fogginess. Just taking note and being aware. Noticing any lightness, any clarity that you might be experiencing through the crown of the head. And then scanning on down through the face, past the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Scanning on down through the sides of the head, past the ears, the back of the head, past the back of the skull, back of the neck, past the front of the neck, down through the shoulders. Again, just noticing any sensations. Has anything changed? As you scan down from the head into the shoulders, are you still allowing your attention to be really present and aware of what you're doing in this moment? Just focusing on any sensations, any change as you scan down through your upper arms, through to your elbows, your forearms and your hands, scanning down through the chest, the abdomen and the belly, making your way up through the spinal column to rest your attention and your awareness on the upper back so that you can scan down through the mid-back, the lower back, noticing any sensations there. And then scanning down through the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, and through the feet. Allowing your body and your mind to settle into this moment so that for the next 5 minutes of silence, you can just focus on your thoughts. And again, you know, if you're doing this practice quite regularly, just noticing if it's becoming a bit easier to sit and to just be present with yourself and your mind and your breathing. It can be quite an intimidating practice at first. So just noticing what's happening for you and if any resistance has come up that you've overcome, or if you're still working with that, and that's absolutely fine as well. So starting to just really be aware of the breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. Counting the breath if that helps you from 1 to 10, and then back around to 1 again. We'll start that 5 minutes of silence, of breathing and of counting the breath. If you're doing that, we'll start that now. And then just starting to bring your awareness back into the space around you, moving your fingers and your wrists and your shoulders once again. Just taking those breaths as you breathe, you're moving. And then just opening the eyes and moving through the rest of your day with a little bit of this positive energy to help you just have a lovely relaxed Saturday. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, same time. All right, have a good day. Bye.